In this episode of Detroit Performs, a group of talented male vocalists. A young photographer transplants from Jamaica to Detroit, and dancing offers hope and direction. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver. Today's episode focuses on young people honing their art skills in educational environments. That's why we're at the Cranbrook Academy of Art. This is one of the nation's leading graduate schools of art, architecture, and design, and it's been home to some of the world's most renowned designers and artists, including Eero Saarinen and Charles Eames. Our first segment takes us to the Detroit School of Arts, where all the male vocalists have become part of the male ensemble, Vision.
It's something about the male voice when they all come together that everybody takes notice. And it's something about the warmth of the voice. And I think that's why it really just hits everybody.
There's a certain thought that everybody has when they hear you're from Detroit, especially when they hear you're from Detroit and they hear you like to sing, because Detroit is the heart of music.
Vision is the Detroit School of Arts male ensemble. And it came about when I first started teaching at DSA. I came in, they had all these girl groups. And I was like, okay, what do the fellas do? And so we decided that all the fellas who were vocal majors would come into one group. And the fellas came up with Vision. And they came up with it, said, because we are what DSA is, but we're also the people who are going to make a difference as we grow older. So our vision is that we're going to be different, and that's how it all came out.
Purpose of Vision is to build up young males in a perfect manner, not a negative. We help young males understand the whole vision of how males are supposed to be, how they're supposed to look, how they're supposed to treat other people as an equal to you, really.
From the very beginning of rehearsal, we come in, we do a physical exercise, we warm up our bodies. It helps with the breathing, being able to catch your breath, being able to take deeper breaths, because when you're out of breath, you know, you take those big, deep breaths and it helps to fill up the breath. So we get the blood flowing, and then somehow we smooth in, because I like to have a nice smooth transition over to the vocal warm up. We warm up our voices and get connected and get ready and prepare for our day.
We do a little bit of everything. We do Motown, we do jazz, we do gospel, we do spirituals, we do classical. So we do an array of everything. So wherever we're going, we can hit everybody's need.
Like a bridge on troubled water, I will lay me down.
Vision sings a lot of songs that are focused towards brotherhood. So singing those songs in such a large group of young men, in such a large group of young men that I've grown close with, it's a different feeling. It's not the regular type of feeling you get when you're with probably a project choir and you're singing just random music. It's just the feeling of having your brothers around you and singing with your brothers is magical.
We're brothers forever, best friends through it all. We will stand together through the right and through the wrong.
When they're singing, what do I feel in their voices? For some of them, I hear relief from problems that they may have. For some of them, I hear leadership. I hear a longing to make the world better. I hear some saying, not a longing, but I am going to do it.
When I don't connect and understand the words that we're singing or the piece that we're singing, I won't feel anything because I didn't put anything into it. So once I put something into it, that's when I can start feeling the emotion of the song.
Victus is one of my favorite that we sing. It was going to be just a regular solo that I was trying to do, but us singing it as a group, it gives me more energy. It makes me want to sing out more, and it tells you how you can be a leader of what you can do in your life instead of being told that you couldn't do certain things.
There are so many lessons that I've learned, not only through Vision, but through the opportunities that DSA and Ms. V has put in my life. I've learned to adapt, and I've also learned to work quickly. I've learned so much.
It just amazes me how she could change us. Like, I didn't expect that to happen.
You have to make sure the audience knows what the song is about. Let's try it one more time and over-pronounce the words.
And I came to DSA thinking I was about to be the top guy around the school, and then I heard certain people who are like seniors, and they've been through all the education and everything, and I'm just like, wow. And I was like, I want to be like that guy someday. All the knowledge Miss V gives us from her education, and how we just bond so well with our in the brotherhood that we share. Sometimes Ms. V can work on us personally. Sometimes she'll give information that we can all use, so it can help us in many different ways.
Now I. Ready? And. I had one young man who has never sung a solo, and in class you could barely hear him. When we did the Shoshaloza, this short one, that was his first solo, and I said, sing it. He looked at me like, what? I said, sing it. He's like, and finally he opened up, and I think it frightened himself because this big voice came out, and he was like, wow. So now he's like, okay, I can do this now.
It can be a big change, it can be a small change. The big changes is the attitude they have, their first day in Vision. It'll change because they see whole different personalities all inside the group, and then they'll burst out and show their side of their color, and so it blends in with everybody else, and they feel home.
Being able to perform different music and have it interpreted 40 different types of ways, and have each person sing it from their personal standpoint and personal point of view, it really showcases that everyone can come together, everyone can join as brothers, everyone can join as family and still come together and sing. And it shows the best of the best in Detroit, I feel, because I love my brothers.
Brothers forever. Best friends through it all.
You can learn more about Vision and all the artists featured here today on DetroitPerforms.org. Our next featured artist is a photographer who shared the same halls as a male Vision ensemble. Ackeem Salmon transferred from Jamaica to Detroit and just had to get into the city's premier art school. Let's join him as he undertakes his largest project to date.
I don't necessarily capture moments, I create them. I'm from 2 different places in Jamaica. I mean, I'm never one place. I'm either over there. But for me, I'm exposed to a lot of different social backgrounds. Our motto for Jamaica is out of many one people. In the high school, it's the same thing. Regardless of who you are, we are like always together. The mix of cultures and the ability to go from one race to other, and there's no conflict or whatever. So yeah, that's how Jamaica really reflects in my art. To be honest, coming in Detroit, I was traumatized, meaning that I didn't know what to do. I was like, there was like so much stereotypes attached to high schools, and I was like getting scared because, you know, you're Jamaican, you're new to a country. My mom took some time online, and then she found Detroit School of Arts. When I heard the school's name, I was like, that's a high school? That sounds like a college. Are you sure that's real?
It's such a great place for him because he can express all of the ways that he is artistically gifted throughout our school. He uses our dance majors for his photography. He uses our art students to help him create his beautiful pieces of work of art. And it's just everything. He just encompasses everything.
For me, Detroit School of Art has really done a lot. The opportunities that they're given, like every art competition. Like the very first day I came here, I showed my art teacher my portfolio, and ironically, like there was this like scholastics art and writing competition, and she took my portfolio and was like, select 10 images out of it. So I think she might have just sent like 4 out of them and didn't get the portfolio thing. I got 3 gold keys, a silver key, plus the American Vision Award, which is like the best of show out of 6,600 entries across Michigan. But for what Detroit School of Art has done is like, it's a family, and I really appreciate the atmosphere here. There's like legit no bullying. I'm like saying there's like this whole unity in this entire school. There hasn't been any negative comments towards things, and yeah, everyone is just really supportive, and I feel at home at Detroit School of Arts, really.
He has such vision for such a young man. I mean, what I see in his artwork, I would expect to see in the artwork of someone who has been in the business for years and years. He has such a wisdom about his artwork and just the vision, like he has seen this world before. Like he has lived the life to 100 and started over again, because it just comes through in whatever he does and puts on canvas or shows in photography or whatever form of artwork he's using. I'm really intrigued as to where he gets his ideas to put things together to stage people and objects and use certain colors or textures in his work.
I love to write. When I write to like invite readers to carry them through and to like utilize different words to let them feel what I'm feeling. And my whole passion of writing poems and descriptive writing that really grabs a person is the same thing I feel about my photography. How does it make me feel? How it would make an audience feel? And the thing is, regarding poses, I do get inspiration, I would say, like from the magazines, any fashion, high-end fashion or so magazines. Because again, everything started with lamb, so I look at the magazines and be like, wow, how can I pull that off with lambs that I find around the house? And I see like all the different poses, and I see like the neutralness. It just invites you. And so the same concepts that they apply with their poses, I put my own element of like theater and writing into it, so it pushes at the audience even more. Pertaining to editing, that's actually where everything comes alive, because bringing it on the computer, I get to apply my abilities in illustration, graphic design, and painting and stuff into my editing process. I would literally take the time to really articulate the models and give them the different aesthetics that I want them to convey in the finished piece.
Sometimes it's just wow, just absolute, just the wow factors, and then it's just taking you deeper into, you know, where in your mind is this piece taking you, and just the other worlds. He has pieces where there's a part of a body, but then there's something else there, and it's just like, well, wow, how does that all fit together? And it just really speaks to your heart and your emotions as well as your mind.
The photo session that I'm going to be doing today is themed Soul of the Arts. It's going to be a very intricate composition utilizing all the different majors in Detroit School of Arts, such as radio and television, dance, drama, and visual arts, and put some twists into it because I'm really looking forward to it.
The students are really freeing themselves to be a part of his artwork. I've seen students who would be afraid to say 2 words to me, put on a costume, put on makeup, and allow themselves to be posed and photographed in ways that I never thought that particular student would be able to show that kind of expression. So he really taps into that core in the students that some of them haven't been able to get at yet, and I think that that's very, very exciting.
I have to ensure that everyone is okay regarding the visual aspect. I did ask one person to kind of help me out, but normally I really don't tell my models to worry about stuff too much, like makeup or anything, because I said I can do that on Photoshop. I guess the most I tell them is like wear a little black lipstick, because it kind of eliminates like the Photoshop process when I actually paint it on, because I think that causes noise and stuff. But for the most part, I don't tell my models to really worry about the post process right now. For me, I just ensure that they're posed properly, they're having the correct facial expressions, and I do everything on the computer.
I fully expect to hear in a few years that Hakeem will have a one-man show in some really fancy museum in New York. But whatever he does, I hope that he has fun and that he never loses his passion for it, because that's what comes out most in his artwork, his passion, his dedication for it. And I don't want him to, you know, do it as just a business. I want him to keep the heart that he has in his artwork and to always let that show wherever he goes.
You can learn more about Ackeem Salmon and all the artists featured here today on DetroitPerforms.org. Now, let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around Detroit.
To discover more events in Greater Detroit, visit ixity.com.
Up next, we see how dance literally is changing the lives of some very talented young people. Take a look at how some students from the National Dance Institute of New Mexico are making exciting moves both on stage and in the classroom.
And over the top.
The warm-ups, the makeup, the proud parents streaming in. It looks like the usual end-of-the-year recital, but this one is a little different. It's the culmination of a year's work at the National Dance Institute of New Mexico, a program that aims to engage and motivate children to strive for excellence using the arts. 74% of the dancers come from low-income families. 85% are either Hispanic or Native American. Catherine Oppenheimer is the program's founding artistic director.
We really target the schools and communities that need our programs the most. So that means high poverty, rural, isolated, the cities too, but kids who wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to experience this kind of program.
Oppenheimer once performed with the New York City Ballet and with legendary classical dancer Jacques d'Amboise. In 1976, he started the National Dance Institute in New York to expose inner-city children to ballet. He convinced Oppenheimer to teach and eventually to bring the program to New Mexico. NDI New Mexico, as it's known, offered lessons this past year to nearly 8,000 children in more than 80 public schools across the state.
This is the perfect count 8. She's smiling. Her hands are up.
4th and 5th graders are taught during the school day.
Oh!
After school, there are lessons for older, more advanced dancers, as well as preschoolers. Most classes are free of charge to students, and no one is turned away because his or her family can't pay. It costs about $5 million a year to run the organization. Some of that money is raised at galas like this one in Santa Fe. Support comes from foundations, local businesses, and individual donors. Executive Director Russell Baker explains the mission.
We believe that it takes energy and effort
to do something with excellence. So what we teach, we call the core four. Work hard, do your best, never give up, and be healthy. We think if you do those things, whether you're learning a dance step, taking a math test, or applying for a job, that's what it takes to be successful.
This year's review for Santa Fe area schools is called Broadway Bound. It celebrates the magic of musicals and showcases 500 children on one stage. Along the way, it weaves in some life lessons about perseverance and teamwork. One scene recognizes each and every dancer.
What we say to kids is that there's this big spotlight and the light is shining, and it's shining right in the center of the stage, and it's their moment to go jump and fly through that spotlight.
13-year-old 7th grader Laura Balderrama beams when she describes that moment.
When each person gets the shot in a spotlight where you could like just show off and then just let everybody look into you, and then it's like just awesome. It feels like you're shining out, like letting all your energy out and then like making people smile, and that's pretty cool.
The quest for excellence goes beyond the footlights. New Mexico's schools get low grades on national ratings, and in 2013, the state ranked dead last in a study that measured the educational, economic, social, and physical well-being of children. But NDI students are raising the bar with higher test scores in reading, science, and math, and improved fitness. Those were the findings of an independent study commissioned by the organization comparing 4th through 7th graders within the same school district. 16-year-old Emery Chacon is a case in point. He's been dancing since 4th grade. He lives with his grandfather, a retired auto mechanic, who also cares sometimes for Emery's 3-year-old niece.
He's learned through the dance that, there's rules you have to abide by. So I think that has helped him, and will help him through life when he does get a job and start working. Well, he knows that they expect his full attention and his devotion to whatever profession he decides to get into. And
yeah, my grades before they were moderate from like C's to like C's and D's, but now actually with NDI it's actually improved to like B's and A's in most of my classes.
Santa Fe High School English teacher Davida Garcia described the impact she's seen in the classroom.
Confidence, expression, participation in class discussion, critically thinking about characters in the plays and how they interact, and then writing about it. And he feels really confident to stand up and read out loud and to express his feelings, which is a tough thing for kids in 9th grade.
The graduation rate at Santa Fe High is only 62%, below the state average, which in turn is one of the lowest in the nation.
You guys are so good.
Santa Fe's mayor thinks programs like this one will help stem the dropout crisis.
We know that the more kids are exposed to arts, the greater an opportunity they have to stay in school, and we know if they stay in school, they're going to graduate. Equally important, they open up their mind. Science, technology, engineering, math is important, but we need to add arts to that. And when we add it, we create a citizen prepared to meet the world.
Back on stage, the cast includes more than just kids. At one point, classroom teachers and a handful of parents join in. Among them was Laura's dad, who emigrated from Mexico 12 years ago.
Really, it's very exciting when people applaud you. It makes you feel like you've done a good job. I don't know how to say it, but for me, really, it's very gratifying to be here. And it makes me feel very, very good.
Also in the company are some City of Santa Fe firefighters who know how to boogie.
Firefighters are heroes, and so we have 6 heroes performing with kids. Kids are looking up to these men and women, and they're big and they're strong, and these are young people that want to grow up and be big and strong and do something important. It's powerful.
Captain Carlos Nava got the bug for dancing from his daughters.
They know what a commitment is now, because the time they put into this and the hard work they put into this, they know what it's like to really commit to something.
Nava, like most parents of these children, said he couldn't afford tuition at a private dance academy. As the program celebrates its 20th anniversary, a few students have made it to bigger stages as professional dancers. But that's not the ultimate goal.
Whether or not they're bound for Broadway, we don't know, but the idea is be bound for something. Figure out what that is and work hard and do your best and don't give up until you get there.
And that's a lesson that will stick with these young dancers long after the applause dies down and the curtain closes.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank the Cranbrook Academy of Art for allowing us a sneak peek into their studios. It's thrilling to know that such a prestigious graduate school of art is right here in our hometown. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I am DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.